Hello and welcome back to my Dandelion Diaries. It is probably one of my favorite videos of the year to film. It is my Hobonichi haul, and much like last year, I got another really big box. I didn't go as order heavy as I did last year, but I definitely got a lot of fun accessories, and I'm going to be showcasing each one of these items in this video in as much depth as I can. With that being said, this is going to be a very long video, so make sure you have a beverage, a snack, watch it like a movie if you want. And I will have timestamps in the description, and I will try to do a pinned comment as well with those timestamps in case you're interested in any one specific item. Without further ado, let me go ahead and open this box. And they usually do everything really well. Oh goodness. In terms of packaging, it did ship with FedEx. So there's that in case you're curious. I am in Texas, USA. So Japan to Texas. This took 10 days to get to me. I ordered on the 1st. I'm going to go ahead and unload everything in this box, and then we'll go through each item individually. Okay, starting off, here is the color of the box this year. I have been watching several videos, so I've seen the box already, and it is this gorgeous, almost like pale blue with brown lettering. I like that my sticker isn't stuck down too, because I can totally save the sticker. But it reminds me a lot of one of the A6 covers they had last year. I don't remember the name of this one, but let me take my notebook out of it. Let me clear the cover off. But it has the same kind of look to it, and that it is this kind of like dusty, cool toned blue with the darker brown. I don't know. So if you got this cover last year, it matches your box if you bought again this year. Anyways, this is the box. I'm not going to read the quote, but I will show the quote. And then here are all of the goodies inside the second box. I'm going to go ahead and unload this one too, and then we will get started with individual items because, like I said, I did get quite a few things this year. So the first thing I'm going to go over is the cover that I got. This is the only cover. This is the A6 colors in the Olive Grove. I'm going to go ahead and take it out of the packaging. I like the crinkle sounds, so if you don't like crinkles, just skip through each part where I unpackage it because I am going to leave those in this video. So this is all filmed in natural daylight. I love the soft beige color of this. Here are the tassels, and they are also a beigey color. And then the color on the outside, I just felt like this one spoke to me because of the color. I'm definitely a green person, and I really saw this, and it just really, I wanted it. I didn't need it, but I wanted it. This is the pocket, and because it's the colors, there's no design or anything, and it's just this kind of like, almost like nylon material is what it feels like to me. It does have a scent though, so it's kind of interesting, but that is the only cover that I got. I did get several clear cover on covers. I got a few weeks ones, the A6 cover on cover for that Olive Grove one I just showed, and then some A5 Hon covers. These fit other planners that I use, so I just wanted to stock up on these since I was already ordering direct. They are the cheapest from direct Hobonichi, and I just like to tack them onto my orders, so I'm just going to set these to the side. Next, let's go ahead and talk about some of the planner items. So I have my weekly supplement here. This is the 2025 version. They still have the 2024 version, which I found interesting. But here is what it looks like. The cover is textured, almost like a linen-y texture, but it is paper. And in case you've never seen the inside of one of these, it has a year at a glance, and then goes straight into your weeklies, starting with the first week of January, technically end of December for 2025. And it just continues like this through the whole book. It is only weeklies. There's no breaks between monthlies or anything like this. And this is because the A6 Techo by Hobonichi does not have weeklies inside of it. You can just have the monthlies and dailies if you wish, or you can get a weekly supplement like this. and tack it into the same cover as your A6. I'm going to be using this for my work planner, so it will probably never be seen on this channel again. But it does have some notes pages in the back of the little book as well. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little notes pages, all gridded with the standard 3.7 millimeter grid by Hobonichi. And that's it for the weekly supplement. I also got some of the papers. So I really loved the artist that did the 5-year journal cover. I honestly wanted to get the 5-year just to get the cover, but I couldn't reason with myself enough to pick that up. So I decided to settle for the papers instead. This is the little info card that came with it. It is the My Tiny Garden, which is the same as the cover again for the 5-year journal, which is embroidered. It's the same artist. I believe it's, yeah, I think it's Iyo Okumi. But I just loved her artistry, and I loved the simple design, and it's really quite cute. This is A6 size. It does have thicker paper. I don't know the exact type of paper it is. Maybe at the end of the video I will do a pen test on this. Maybe not, depending on how long the video is. But this is meant to be torn out. So you would essentially write your note here and then tear it out of the book. I'm not going to do that just yet because, again, I want to use these when I'm ready. But they are designed to be pulled away from the book. This is also very chunky. Once I open up the A6 Techo I got, I will compare the thickness and size so you can see how much thicker this one is. Next, I'll just go over some of the accessories I got. These are the sticky, double-sided stick tape booklets. I really enjoy these whenever I need to pick up some extra things to like make a shipping total. So this was $2.99 US. And all it is a little book of sticky tapes. And they fit really great inside of covers. And that way you don't have to carry around like a tape runner or a glue stick or anything like that. You can just use one of these, and they peel up very, very easily. And you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sheets. And they have a smaller set in the front. So you get 3 of the smaller and then 3 of the larger strips. I think they're great. You can always cut them too if you need them to be a certain size. Then I picked up 2 sets of the Memo books. So I got the A6 size and then also the week size. I like to use these as little perpetual notebooks that I carry from planner to planner or journal to journal. I realized that the free gift this year from Hobonichi, if you order direct, is notebooks. But I wasn't sure if I would like them, if they were too thick or what. So I went ahead and ordered some of the normal ones that they sell too. So for the A6 size, you get a blue one, a gray one, and then a yellow one. I personally don't care about the color of the covers because I can always cover them up with craft paper or construction paper and change the color to be whatever I want. The inside of all 3 is a grid. Interesting. I never noticed that it had the little arrows on it. I guess you could use that to cut it off. They're not perforated, but it does have arrows. Never noticed that before. Anyways, it is the grid, the same grid that is in all of the Hobonichi things, which is the 3.7 millimeter grid. For the weeks ones, I'll go ahead and open these ones too. For the weeks ones, they are the exact same. They are a little bit smaller than the weeks size planner themselves, which again, I can compare those when I open up all the planners over here. But you get a red one, a kind of bluish tealy one, or aqua, and then a brown one. And again, all of these have the same kind of inside grid. These ones do have the delineating line, which is similar to the notes pages in the actual weeks planners themselves. One of the other accessories I got is from the Denali line. This is the artist, I think it's Naoki Ishikawa. Yeah, Denali and the Midnight Sun #2. So this is a picture of a plane on Mount Denali, which is in Alaska, which is really cool. I did get a couple of other things from that set, and I'm not going to be opening this. This is actually for my partner, my boyfriend. He wanted the Denali set of things, so I picked him up a pencil board, a weeks, and then a notebook as well. But I really think this is quite lovely, very mountain-esque, very adventurous, very nice. One of the second to last accessories I got is the Himitsu Stranger postcard set. So when I initially was doing my wish list, I really loved the covers that came with the Himitsu Stranger line, but I could not reason with myself enough to purchase a cover. But since I loved the artwork, I wanted to pick up the postcard set because it has all of the artwork in it, or some of the artwork at least. And that way I could at least use this and reuse the postcards as decoration, or just to have kind of like something from the collection that I can keep. So I'll go ahead and go through each postcard with you guys. Here is the first one. And this is kind of like what the cover looked like with all of the little characters on it. And that's the back. I love this little guy. He's so cute. And I don't know a lot. Oh, that's adorable. I don't know a lot about the songs that these illustrations were created after, but I loved the artwork so much that I just couldn't pass it up. If they make a Weeks cover with this one next year, I am 100% buying it, even if I don't get a Weeks. This is gorgeous. Wow. And there's like the little elephant guy. This guy's so cute. He's like a little robot cyborg. And the writing is just squiggles. It doesn't look like it is actually any writing. And here we have a little foxy looking girl playing with a ball. Lighthouse. Robot. I think it's interesting that they don't have any bubble, like text in the bubbles. So maybe if you wanted to use these as an actual postcard, you could write your own text in there. That'd be really neat. And here's a little girl with a penguin looking creature. I love the color of this one with the bunny. Oh, that's really sweet. I'm going to have to see if I can find the songs so I can listen to them. If you have any recommendations on where to find the songs for the Himitsu Stranger stuff, please let me know. This guy is just rage personified. Oh, this one's cool. It's a different direction. Again, no text in the bubbles, but I don't know. There's something about this art style that's beautiful. And it just intrigued me. This one also looks like it's, I guess it goes this way. And there's like a little mermaid sitting inside her shell singing. That's really cool. And we got this guy. Second to last one here. Again, speech bubbles are empty. And this is the cover of the Weeks that was incredibly popular. That is so beautiful and whimsical. I really, really love the purple design. And that is all of the postcards in the Himitsu Stranger postcard set. I'm really happy with these. I'm probably not going to actually use them as postcards. I will probably use them as like decorations for covers, if I'm being honest, but I'm really happy I picked this up because I have something that is close to the cover, but I feel like I would use more. And then the last thing as like an accessory that I picked up is this little stamp guy. So I have the inky version of this, or like the notebook version, and I love using these in my Hobonichi planners and my ink journal and stuff. So I wanted to pick up the weather one because I'm hoping to track more weather things in my bigger books versus just my garden planner, which that'll be a whole different video scenario when we get to that. But I wanted to pick this up because I wanted to use this instead of drawing my own weather, and using this instead of some stickers because stickers do pile up over time. But each one is a different color. So all of these ones from this other set that I got off of Jet Pens are black, but each one of these, so like the sun is a red ink, the umbrella is a blue ink, cloud is black, the lightning bolt, I think, is orange, rainbow is black, and then the snowflake is a darker blue. So all of these will be a different color ink, which I kind of wish they were all black, but I don't really care that much. Okay, before I get to the planners, I'm going to go ahead and go through the notebooks that I got. So again, this is from the Denali and the Midnight Sun. I'm not going to be opening this. This is a standard grid notebook like these over here, which I will open one of these to show you guys the inside. But I wanted to stock up on notebooks because this year Hobonichi came out with blank and lined notebooks. But let me go through the grid notebooks first. So I got 2 A5s and 1 A6 of each one. I go through notebooks a lot, so I did order quite a few of these. Yeah, I can't go wrong with a blank notebook, and that's that. So this is the A6 size, which I just showed a second ago. So here's the one that I'm currently using. This is what the inside looks like. And this is what all of the grid notebooks look like. They have this kind of 3.7 millimeter grid, but they do have different colors in 4 different sections. So you have, I think it's like red, blue, purple, and then yellow is like the last group of colors on the grid. The grid is just slightly colored. You don't really notice it, honestly, when you're using it, but it can help if you're trying to section things out in the notebook. But that is what the grid looks like on the A6. Here is an A5. So here is an A5 book, and these are paper covers, so you could easily draw on these covers, write on them, stick down stickers, whatever. They are like a really thick cardstock or even almost a cardboard feel. Like they're thick. And then, yeah, you have like your orange or red grid, and then it's like a bluish grid, and then it goes into like a green or a purple grid. I don't remember exactly. And then it goes into like a yellow as well. So again, 4 different sections of grid, and I don't remember the exact number of pages, but I will try to put that on the screen if you're curious about how many pages come in the A5 or this A6 size, just because that's easy reference information. Now let's talk about the lined notebooks. I am super excited about these. So the lined notebooks come in this kind of like aqua-y blue color, and they do have a different kind of line. Oh, that just opened up so flat. That was so satisfying. They do have a different kind of line, which is really traditional for a lot of Japanese characters. They have these little indents so you can space your characters well. I personally don't mind that. I do not write Japanese yet, so yeah, but I do plan on using this for my Japanese language study practice. That's just primarily the reason why I got the mini one, and then I got the larger ones to be as like my Dear Diary like journal notebooks. But I do like that the line has the little indents in it. If you wanted to see what they looked like with the Kokuyo, here is a Kokuyo campus notebook. Here is what the lines look like on a Kokuyo campus, which these notebooks are like super inexpensive. And they're very close together with the style, but the paper is obviously different. This will be Tomoyoro Sanza paper, and this is the Kokuyo paper. And then in case you were curious what the A5 one looks like, here is how many lines come on an A5. So we have A5 in the back, A6 in the front. So you can see if you wanted to count like how many lines there are per sheet or something if you're using it for a specific purpose. And from the look of it, it looks like all of the lines are the same color throughout. Like they're this kind of like light gray print. They aren't colored at all from what I can tell. And I believe their B5 notebooks, the Hobonichi notebooks, have the same kind of line variation if you wanted an even bigger notebook that is bound, but I don't believe it has as many pages as these notebooks do. And then the last notebooks that came out with are the blank ones, which are some that I, as an ink swatcher YouTube channel, love to use. It's because I've been using their grid notebooks for a while. I just switched brands, but I'm totally going back to Hobonichi for the blank notebooks for my ink swatches. I love this so much. I think if you wanted to have good blank toner paper and a great bound book system, these are hands down amazing. Like, I have never had a problem with their notebooks. I have notebooks from like 3 or 4 years now that are still holding up fantastic. And I just cannot complain about the Hobonichi notebooks. They're reasonably priced, at least from the Hobonichi website, and they're really great quality. And here is what the A5 blank notebook looks like. The only downside to the blank books is you don't have any kind of insert. So if you were to order like a Tomoe River paper notebook from Galen Leather, which has the blank pages like this, they give you a little grid insert so you can put it behind the page and kind of line up yourself if you need to. But you can honestly probably print one out with your printer if you have a printer at home, or go to your library. Or you could even just, you know, use one from another notebook that you already have, or make one yourself if you wanted something to be a certain outline or underlay underneath the Tomoe River paper. But that is the blank notebooks, which again, I'm very excited for my ink swatching stuff. Okay, now let's get into planners. I ordered way more planners than I was intending to. So this one on top here is the Denali in the Midnight Sun. Again, I'm not going to open this because this is my boyfriend's and I want him to have that experience. It is a shiny Weeks though. I know it's kind of hard to tell through the packaging, but it does have the shellac look to it. So you would not need a clear cover for this unless you just wanted one. You could just take like a damp cloth and like wipe it off if anything happened to the outer cover, but I am going to set this to the side. But this is the first Weeks that I got for me. This is the Pistachio Mega Weeks, and I got it in the Japanese version. I love the feel of the colors Weeks. And I'm going to go over the cards at the end because I'm sure I got one in every single planner. But the pistachio color really spoke to me when they did the initial color reveal of the Hobonishi colors. Again, it's much like the Olive Grove color. I felt like these matched really well together. So I was going to put my A6 Techo that I ordered in this and then have this with it. I don't know. My whole theme this year is kind of green because it's like my favorite color. Anyways, this is the pistachio. It has the gold printing in here. If you've never seen the inside of a Hobonichi Weeks, I will do a very quick flip through of this. Again, this is the Japanese version. I did order an English version to compare, so we will get to look at them side by side. It has a year at a glance with the previous year, the current year, and the future year. It has the Calendex page. And then you have your monthlies from December all the way until March. And then whenever you have a 6-month, a 6-week month, they have the dates here at the bottom and they're all evenly spaced. Let me get to the weeklies. And the Hobonichi Weeks is the same Tomoe River paper Sanzen, I believe, this year. And it is cream paper. This is what a weekly spread will look like. And the cool thing about the Hobonichi Weeks again, or another cool thing I should say, is that it starts in December. So you have your December monthly and you also have December weeklies. So this is the beginning of December here. So you get that last week of November and then into December weeklies all the way through the end of December of 2025. And here's our little ribbons. So you'll go all the way through the end of December 2025, like I was saying, which has the beginning of January of 2026. And the way the weeklies are is it has a blank section over here in a horizontal layout, and then you have just grid page on the other side. You do have quotes in Japanese here at the bottom, but it is in English in the English version, which again, we'll get to once I open up the English one. For the Mega Weeks, you have 213 notes pages, and all of those begin with a little index sheet like this. And they all have the kind of delineating line through all of those notes pages, very similarly to the memo books. Get to the end here. So 213 notes pages. Then you'll get some of the extra pages, or I don't know what they call them, the other pages in the back of all of the planners, which they are similar to each book. They're just a different size. So you have a stretching one, a My 100 page. This year they did fun icons to doodle. You have a noodles page. I think this is the solar terms. And then I'm not sure what this one is, but again, we'll look at the weeks in comparison that I got in English. And then you have, I think this is an age chart, something else to do with, I think, math. And then personal pages, and there's one in between here. And then this is your contacts page. And then every Hobonichi Weeks comes with a clear pocket. So this is a sticky pocket. You can stick it in the book itself. If you're using a clear cover, I highly recommend sticking it on this side, the book side. You can do it in the back or in the front, or you can just not use it all together, store it, trash it, whatever. It just comes with your book. And then the colors of the ribbons are black and silver. These are just standard kind of ribbon bookmarks. I don't really love these. I honestly rip them out of all of my hardcover books. Okay, that is it for the Pistachio Mega Hobonichi Weeks. Really happy with this one. I also ended up getting the Leaf Green Sneaker Weeks, which is another mega book, and this one is in Japanese as well. I wanted to get most of my books in Japanese this year because I am trying to study Japanese. I'm trying to learn Japanese. So I wanted to have as much exposure to it as possible. So the thing with the Sneaker Weeks is there is no bookmarks because this is a paper cover. They are very bendy, very flexible. It is all paper. There is no hard coverness to this at all. So there's no none of those ribbon bookmarks. Instead, you get a little sheet with these plastic bookmarks that will stick down and you can move them around. But I'm not going to be opening this. In terms of the insides, they are exactly the same as the last one I just flipped through, so I'm not going to flip through it again. But you do also still get a sticky pocket with this, which is nice because these do not fit in the clear covers, which let me actually open one of those up. Okay, so here is the Hobonichi Weeks clear cover, in case you wanted to see what it looks like with the standard colors Mega Weeks, which they do have some disclaimers about this on their website, about how some of their covers will not fit certain planners because the covers are thicker or whatever. So if you're curious about a clear cover fitting on top of it, definitely look at the product page and scroll all the way to the bottom and it'll have like a little section about it. Doing this in the air is tough. Okay, so here is the Colors Week. As you can see, this one is a little snug, so I don't think I could even close this if I tried. It's a little too snug, but you can take a blow dryer or a hair dryer or a heat gun and heat up the plastic before you put it on and then put it on the book and it will close. Or you could just force this down and then put something heavy on top and over time the cover will relax. And then we're going to try this on the Sneaker Weeks as well. And there are other companies that sell clear covers. Lauren Phelps Designs, I think Sterling Ink has some clear covers again coming out. And I mean, you can just pick and choose what you want. Some have designs on them too. I think Catspresso Co. might even have some. And here is what it looks like on a Sneaker Week. So it is very large on the Sneaker Weeks. You can see I can pinch almost like half an inch off of this. And it's also much smaller in terms of the height because the Sneaker Weeks does not have that higher edge of the book bound version. If you wanted to see what the Sneaker Weeks looks like compared to the actual Mega Weeks in terms of size, here we go. That's what it looks like from the top, from the side, from the side. You can see how this one indents a little bit, but the overall size of the pages is exactly the same. For the little memo books, you can see that those are even smaller than both the sneaker and also the book itself. So you could put these in the back, which is kind of their intention, and you don't even see it. I'll show you what it looks like with the sneaker as well. You can see it a lot better with the sneaker because the cover's so soft, but they are meant to go like with the book. That's why they're slightly smaller than the actual book themselves. Then the last weeks I got for myself is the Through the Purple Night, and this was a fight for my life when I was trying to check out with Hobonichi. So amidst all the server issues, which I've already talked about, it's over, done with, I'm moving on with my life. This was one of the things that sold out for me first when I was going through the cart emptying experience, and then later when I checked back, it was back in stock and I was able to get the one I wanted, which is the English version. And that is because the English version of the regular weeks has 73 notes pages, and then the Japanese version has, I think, 69 notes pages. It's just a few page difference, but it makes a big difference depending on how you like to use your books. Anyways, Through the Purple Night is by that same artist who did the Himitsu Stranger. I don't know where I put... Anyways, the Himitsu Stranger artist, and then it comes with a pencil board specifically with this weeks. You can't get this pencil board by itself. It only comes with the weeks like in the packaging. So here is the pencil board. We'll just take a quick look at this. And I primarily wanted to get this because it is whimsical, it is purple, it has stars and planets and cats and animals, and it just, I loved it and I wanted it. And I don't know what I'm going to use it for yet. Anyways, this is the cover with the pencil board here. Here is the cover if we were to open it up all the way. This is absolutely gorgeous. I love the gold stamping here. I love that the gold is also stamped on the spine. It's so, so pretty. I just love all of the little details. And the cover is, again, kind of like that painted linen feel. It is wipeable. You don't have to have a clear cover with this one. It's easier to clean. Oh, here's the artist. It's Kusano Masamune Junaida. My Japanese isn't very good, but that's the artist right there. So this is the English version, like I said. So I'm going to go ahead and compare it to the Japanese version, at least in the front pages. Other than that, the layout is exactly the same. It just has less notes pages. So first difference is with the year at a glance. In the Japanese version on the left, and then the English version on the right. Here is the year at a glance pages. Again, Japanese version on the left, English version on the right. You can mainly tell on the weekdays here how it's the Japanese characters, and then here you actually have one or two characters to denote Monday through Sunday. For the months, they are pretty much the same in terms of layout, other than the English version does not have the Japanese holidays in red, and it also does not have the Japanese characters throughout some of the days. So it's a bit more plain, if you will. It's a little more blank. Here is what it looks like in a weekly sense. These are not the same week. So we have the Japanese in the back here. You have the number and then the month and then the year. And in the English, you just have the name of the month and then the number and the year. So it's flipped. You still have the, number of the week. And then for the weekdays here, they are exactly the same except for the little extra Japanese characters here. For the quotes, you can see that the English version will have everything in English, and then the Japanese will have everything in Japanese. Here is the difference in the notes pages. So you can see on the Japanese version, everything is again in Japanese, and then in the English version, it is all explained in English. And then the other page is exactly the same. And again, because this is the English standard weeks, it is going to have 73 pages in the back, and the notes pages are exactly the same with the little delineating line. Here is the end pages, or the extra pages in the back, and what they look like in a different way. So we have Japanese on the left here and English on the right. So another difference here is the English ones have these favorites pages. I did not see that in the Japanese version. The Japanese has the My 100 first. So the English will have the favorites page and then the My 100 list. Again, English here, Japanese here. Then we have the sample symbols and icons, which is the same in both books. Again, one is just in Japanese and one is in English. Here we have the oodles of noodles. So we have the Japanese, English. I think it's nice that since I read English, I can see what they're talking about with the different styles of noodles. I think that's really cool. I do love me some noodles. And there's also a QR code up here on the Japanese one that is not on the English. And then there is no solar terms in the English version. It is only in the Japanese. So in the English version, you get the 365 checkoff sheet and addresses. Which in the Japanese version, I think that might be what this is the address page. And you have this sheet here, which is not in the English version either. And then the last page in the English is the personal notes where you fill out like your name, return to me kind of stuff. And again, for the Japanese version, you still have a few extra pages after that. Last thing about this one is it comes again with that sticky pocket, but it also came with this little card, which is all about the artist. Very nice. I think these are really fun to keep. I usually stick them in the covers of my books and just have them as decoration. You could also glue them down and use them as like a sticker if you wanted to. But that is the Through the Purple Night weeks. I'm so happy I was able to get this. Yeah, the whole thing about that. If you wanted to see the size comparison of a mega to a regular weeks, there you go as well. Okay, now let's get into the bigger books. This is the A6 Techo, or the Hobonichi Techo original. I did get this one in the Japanese. Here is the cutie little book. Before I flip through it, here is it next to the Hobonichi papers. So the papers is in the back here. It's much thicker. I shouldn't say much thicker. It's a little bit thicker than the Techo. So papers, Techo, slightly thicker. But the Techo, the Japanese one, has the gray text on the front. The English version, which I got down here, it has yellow text. But here is a small flip through if you've never seen an A6 Techo before. You have your year at a glance, same thing where you have the previous year, the current year, and then the future year. The Calendex pages, which in the A6 Techos you get December from the year before, and then all the way through the end of March of the following year. So it follows the monthlies. So all of the monthlies are the same way. You have December of the previous year, and it goes all the way through March of 2026, so the following year. If you wanted to see what a 6-week month looks like in a Techo, you have shortened monthlies down here. So unlike the weeks, you don't get that extra box on the bottom. It just kind of cuts those boxes in half. And then after the monthlies, you get a blank spread. It's called Turning the Page to a New Year. I think these are great if you want to use it as like a pen test page, if you want to put some goals down here, whatever. Then for all of your dailies in this book, because again, there's no weeklies, you have a blank page where you can do your like monthly header if you want, and then all of your dailies, which have a timeline from, I believe it's 4 a.m. until 4 a.m. So 24-hour timeline just on a condensed version. You have a little delineating line, some checkboxes up here for tasks, and then a little bit of space for notes, whatever, journal entry, what have you. The grid on this is whatever color they chose for the month. So that is one thing about the Hobonichis, the Techos and the Cousin, is the colors do change by month in terms of the grid and the text that is used. Each month is themed to a certain color. Here is January. Here is February, which is kind of like a brown color. And again, Japanese version has the Japanese text on the bottom. March is kind of like this purplish color. April is a pinky red. May is kind of like a chartreuse green, or kind of like the pistachio green, honestly. June is more of like a foresty or a pine green color. July is kind of like a deeper teal. August is like a blurple. September is a brown. October is a purple. November is like a darker blue-green, or even a dark green, a cool-toned dark green. And then December is kind of like a reddish color. At the end of the Techo dailies, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 notes pages that are all grid. Then you go into the timetable. You have some graph papers. You have a favorites list, and this has 40 different favorites slots. You have a My 100 page, the icons, symbols. I believe this is solar terms. No, I don't know what this is actually. Maybe it has it on their website. Here we have Oodles of Noodles again, the solar terms, and then the other extra pages that come with the Japanese books, like the age tables and everything else. Oh, you also get a gifts sheet if you want to write down like different gifts you send through the year, different gifts you receive, addresses and personal notes, and then your final Hobonichi page. And each Hobonichi is stamped. I don't know if I said that already, but each Hobonichi is stamped. And that is it for the Techo book. These books do lay completely flat. You can also bend the books back on themselves like this. The binding of the Hobonichi is superior in my opinion. You just cannot go wrong with one of these books. If you are curious to see what the memo books look like in size comparison, here is what they look like with that. And then I'm going to go ahead and stick the Hobonichi in the colors cover so you can see what it looks like inside a cover. So here's what it looks like inside of the cover on cover, if you will. These butterfly tabs will soften over time, by the way, which they do say that on their website. And then if you were curious, here is the weekly supplement, and this fits in the back pocket of the cover, which I think is really nice. Or you could even stick this up here in the front, maybe. There we go. If you wanted to put them, oh, it doesn't fit there. You could probably do this though. Yeah, you could easily slip it inside like that if you wanted to. And that is the A6 Techo. I'm going to store mine like that. And then the last planner that I got is the Hobonichi Cousin in the English version. And I opted to get the standard cousin book this year versus the Hone because I had a Hone for 2024 and I liked it. I just missed the flexibility of the paper version. So here is the standard Hobonichi Cousin in the English version. Again, like I said, it has that yellow text versus the gray text that is on the Japanese version. If you've never seen the inside of a cousin, I will do a quick flip through like I've done with the other books. You get an opening fly-leaf page, your year at a glance, where you have the full year, current or previous year, current year, next year. You have your Calendex pages, which the cousin only has January through December. Then you have your monthlies. And again, for these bigger books, if you have a 6-week month, the bottom two or the last week will be smooshed, so like cut in half almost on your monthly pages. And like the other books, it goes from December of the previous year all the way through March of the next year, so 2026. And then you go straight into your weeklies after your monthlies. So this one is, I think it's called a sectioned planner, where it's like monthlies, weeklies, dailies. And this is what a week looks like. You have a 24-hour timeline starting at 5 a.m. going till 5 a.m. You have a little blurb over here for the calendar or the monthly calendar, the number of the week, and then all of the weekends are shaded. So you have a gray for Saturdays and a red for Sundays. If you were to get the Japanese version of this, it will also have red on the days that are Japanese holidays up here. After all of your weeklies, you have your turn the page to a new year, so your blank spread. These do have the little calendars on the bottom. And then you go into your monthly, or I mean your dailies. So like the Techo, you get a blank page for the beginning of the month. And in the English version, it is completely blank. There is only the number and the month. And then for your dailies, you have the same kind of color scheme where each month has a different color. The grid is also that color. And with the English, you have English quotes at the bottom, and it's a little bit more simplified on the page because they don't have any of the Japanese holidays or anything else going on. But again, January, we have kind of a reddish color. February is a brown. March is a purple. April is a pink. May is like a green pistachio color. June is like a foresty green. July is a darker teal, maybe even a blue to some. August is a blurple or a dark purple. September is a brown. October is another purple. November is a darker green or a darker teal. And then December is a red. And then at the end of the English cousin, if I can get there, geez. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blank grid notes pages. Then you have your timetable, your graph page, your favorites page, which has 12 sections, your My 100 page, the icons and symbols. Okay, so how to have fun keeping a diary is that other page that I didn't know in the A6 Techo in Japanese. Oodles of Noodles, a words to remember page, the 365 checkoff sheet page, and then tips to getting the most out of your Hobonichi Techo, a gifts page, address page, and a personal notes page, and then your stamp at the bottom. And that is the end of the Hobonichi cousin. Very thick, very lovely, very chunky book. In case you wanted to see what a loved one looks like, here is my Hobonichi cousin from 2023. And it is stuffed to high heaven. So the book went from this size to this size. So these books can handle a lot of tip-ins and stickers and washi. If you like to do a lot of craft journaling, these books handle very well with the binding. Like I said, you can turn it completely in on itself and it holds up great. So very happy with these books, and that's why I wanted to go back to the standard versus the Hone, because you can't flip the Hone back in on itself. Okay, and then the last thing that I picked up before I get to the freebies is the Stappo. So Raquel over at Rocky Paper Scissors Co. influenced me heavily to get this. I have been using a Delphonics pouch primarily, the medium one that holds the A5 size books, but I really wanted to try out a Stappo because it sits upright on my desk and I can use it like this and have everything open and easy access, and it's still sitting upright versus laying down like my Delphonics pouch does. So this is what the inside looks like. You have a pocket here, really big pocket here, another pocket here. This detaches with Velcro, and then you can reattach it or leave it open if you wanted to. You have a pocket here, and then a really big pocket in the back. I'm going to test some things, see what fits in here. So here we have that cousin book that is brand new. I cannot lay it flat, but I could leave it standing up like that. Don't love that. Here is that A6 Techo that is got a cover on it, which would fit in here with plenty of room for other things. I could even stick it in the back, I think. Yeah, don't love putting things in the back like that. Let's try a notebook. Yeah, so an A5 notebook is not going to fit in the back cover unless you stand it like this, in which case you wouldn't be able to close the Stappo. But I do like that I could fit some thinner things back here. That would be a little bit longer. And then let's try out a notebook. Here's an A6 notebook that will fit in that pocket. It will also fit in that pocket. And then will it fit in the front pocket? No. But you could easily put like all of your pens. And this side is like a little cup holder. Holds lots of things. I'm going to play around with it some more and see how it works out for me. And then I may do a video all on its own about the Stappo, just because I want to be able to see what all fits and not make this video 18,000 years long. Okay, now let's get to the freebies, which you kind of already saw with these here. These are the freebie pens that came with the planners this year. I believe almost every book got a pen. I know the Weeks books get a pen, and I know the big books like the Techo and the A6 get a pen, so I think I got one for each planner. I am going to open up one of them just so we can look at it up close. Every year, Hobonichi has a pen. This is the Uniball Jetstream. It's a great multi-ballpoint pen. If you've never had one, they are fantastic. Here is the little text that it says, if I can get it to focus. So it says Hobonichi. So it says Hobonichi Techo 2025 in like a blue ink. The barrel of the body is definitely a yellow, and then the grip section is kind of an orange, in case you wanted to see what it looks like taken apart. You get 3 different inks. You get red, blue, and black. And all of these can be changed out and refilled over and over again if you want. You can also disassemble the pen and change out the colors to other Hobonichi pens you may have. Last year they had the green and brown, which looked like this. I really liked last year's pen body a lot, but if you wanted, you could easily change out the orange for the brown, which is probably what I'm going to do. And then you have a whole new colorway of a pen. So just keep that in mind. I know the pen colorway isn't for everybody. I've heard people say it looks like Big Bird. I've heard people say it looks like Winnie the Pooh. I think it honestly reminds me of the Paddington itself, which was part of the collaboration they did this year. It's like the Paddington bear colors with the like kind of corally orange, red orange with the yellow body. But it's a nice pen. They're great pens. They're reliable. You can throw it in your bag and you know, it's a free pen. And then the other freebie that they gave out with some of their planners this year were notebooks. These are the 2 I got. I'm really curious to see. I know they do the blind bag thing, so let's see which 2 I got. Okay, good. This is the one that I wanted. Yes. So this is part of the artist collaboration of another artist they did. I don't remember the artist's name. I'll try to put it on the screen. But each one of these notebooks has a 4 or 5 millimeter grid, I think. Again, I'll put details on the screen if I don't have it correct. And it looks like the grid is kind of like a greenish color in this one. Lovely. And I believe there are 40 pages per notebook. So that's the first one I got. And then I got a second one. Excellent. Okay, so this is actually the design that I wanted the most. So I'm really happy that I got 2 of them. I know some probably would be like upset that they get more variety, but I'm really happy with these 2. There is a foil stamp on the front here too, and these are shiny, very, very shiny. I was not expecting them to be this shiny, but I don't mind. They're easy to clean, easy to wipe off. And because I am curious, I'm going to try them out in the cover, because why not? So in case you were curious if it would fit in a Hobonichi cover, it would. It's very thin. I think in comparison to some of their other notebooks, I mean, here is it next to the A6 Techo itself. It's a great size. Here is it next to one of their notebooks. So it's kind of like a little bit thinner than their standard notebooks. And then here's it next to a supplement, because why not? I already have it here. Very, very happy with my freebies. And then might as well compare it to a memo book. Yeah, it's much larger than the memo books like the other A6 books. Here is the pamphlet they sent with all of the different planners. I don't remember what they called it. Mystery of the Techo Mask. Let's see if I have an English one. Let's see if they're all the same. I'm sure they are. Yeah, they are all the same. But the inside looks like this. I like that there's little QR codes and there's numbers, so it's like a little story. So we start with 1. And then we go to 2. It is a little story. 3 and 4, 5 and 6. That's really neat. And then here's the back poster. I know some were saying this is creepy, but to me this is, I don't know, I like this. It kind of reminds me of the Phantom of the Opera in a way, but I know it's not based off of that. It's based off of something else. But this is really nice. And I like that they have their word or their theme of the year potential on here as well. That is really, really nice. Whew. Okay, that is all of my Hobonichi order that I got for 2025. I have officially ordered all of my planners for the 2025 season, so stay tuned for some videos coming about that. I will have videos about pre-planning, how I'm going to pre-plan all of my books to set them up, and then I will also have individual setup videos of each book, like I did last year where I did the full process, because that's something I really enjoy to watch and I want to provide that kind of content for you guys as well. If you have any questions about anything I ordered or want to chat about your experience with Hobonichi, maybe you're new, maybe you have questions, I don't know, just give me a shout out down in the comments. I'm always happy to chat about Hobonichi. I think it's a really nostalgic brand for me, and it's something I'm really excited to move back into for 2025. But I'm going to end the video off here. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're enjoying your Hobonichi products if you got some, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.